This is Marie McCabe interviewing Alma Runge on April 27th, 1983. We're going to be talking about her life and early history in Madison.
Never accomplished anything.
Now, where were you born, Miss Runge?
I was born on a farm in the town of Middleton, I guess, across from Lake Mendota Drive.
And what did your parents do?
They were farmers.
What was your father's full name?
Adolph Edwin
Runge.
Runge
And your mother?
was Elizabeth
Do you know her family name?
Demerscheid,
How do you spell that?
Zimmerscheied.
Oh, what nationality is that?
What?
What nationality?
German.
German, I see, And you were a little girl there on the farm. Do you
Yes.
remember being there?
Well, we moved to the Dane to the town of Dane when I was 2 weeks old.
Oh, I see. And on a farm?
On a farm.
And then when did you come to Madison?
Well, then we moved to Dane County. I guess it would be town of Middleton on Freeway Road. It was called East Middleton.
Oh, yes. Still farming? Or
Yeah,
was that in town?
The farm had a farm on Mineral Point Road, and I lived there until I was about 15 years old,
Oh.
and then I moved to Madison.
Did you go to school then out in
Yes, I graduated from Middleton High School, and that was only a 3-year course, so then I went to Madison High School and graduated in 1900.
Oh.
I was 17 years old.
Well, when you were a little girl, you went to a country school?
Yes,
Where was that?
well, it was, I don't know it was, the school is right near the Mineral Point Road, the country school.
And what was that like?
Well, it was just a regular country school.
One room or bigger?
One room at that time. It's been enlarged since.
And one teacher for all the grades?
One teacher. She taught everything.
Did you have brothers and sisters?
I had 2 sisters.
Named what?
What?
Their names?
Laurel and Elsie.
And you 3 girls went to school together?
My sister Laurel and I went to country school, and then we went to the Middleton High School, and then to Madison High School.
Oh, did your father have a dairy farm, or what kind?
Well, just a regular farm.
And some cattle and some cows and...
Yes, some cattle.
Did you like it on the farm?
Well, he left the farm. He felt it was hard to get help, good help. And so he sold his farm, moved to Madison, and we lived on North Murray Street.
Well, if he had had boys, it might have been easier. If he had had sons.
Well, maybe, but he had daughters.
Did your mother like the farm?
I guess so.
I suppose there weren't very many conveniences.
No,
Did you have running water
no,
and no electricity for a while?
No.
Mhm. Pretty hard
yes,
doing laundry and doing the cooking.
yeah.
I suppose you had to help with the chores.
Well, I didn't do very much. I was in school all the time.
But summers,
In summers, we gathered the eggs, you know.
you had a garden,
Oh, yes, we had a garden.
so you probably had to help pick things and carry and...
Well, I just helped my mother when I could.
Did you walk to the school?
Yes, walked to Middleton, 3 miles.
Oh. And in the winter, too?
What?
In the winter?
Well, I stayed with my grandparents who lived in Middleton, and I stayed with them during the week.
Oh, I see.
Otherwise, I used to drive back and forth when there was a horse available. Sometimes they had to use all the horses for the farm, you know. And
But were you a pretty good rider?
what?
Did you like to ride horses?
Oh, I never rode a horse.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
You just had a buggy, was that it?
Yeah, we had
Uh-huh.
a buggy and a cutter
Oh.
for the winter.
Uh-huh. So when you moved to Murray Street, did you like being in Madison better?
Oh, yes. It was right near the university, you know. There was lots of life.
Oh, yes.
It was a district where there were lots of students. There were houses that had student roomers at that time. There were no dormitories, you know.
Oh.
There were no dormitories, especially for men. There was Chadbourne Hall for women.
That's what I thought. There was one.
Yeah.
So you had a house there?
We had an apartment.
And what did your father do in Madison?
Well, he did some building, and he wrote insurance.
I see.
He was
And you had sold the farm then?
he sold the farm, yes, and he invested in some property, real estate
Oh.
in Madison.
Well, that probably was a good move, wasn't it?
Yes.
Much
Very
easier
good.
for everybody.
Yeah.
And so you went to Madison High, you said. That was
Madison High School.
That was now Central High, isn't that it?
What?
It's now Central, or was
Yeah,
Central High?
the high school.
And what sort of activities did you have in high school?
I don't think we had any.
Did you belong to any clubs?
No. Not in high school, no.
I understand they did have sororities.
What?
They had sororities in high school? You remember that?
No.
They didn't.
I don't think so. I didn't know of any.
What course did you take?
All the general science.
You planned to go on to school?
Yes.
Had your parents gone on to school at all?
Well, no, they didn't go. Yes, they went. They had a general education, you know, of the times.
But wasn't it a little bit unusual for girls to go to college in those days?
Well, I don't think so.
There were, in Madison, there were quite a few who did.
Well, yes, quite a few.
So you were able to, what year did you start university?
Well, I graduated in 1906.
Oh, yes. And
that was a 4-year course.
You graduated from high school in 1900, you said.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Well, did you enjoy the university?
I taught country school for 2 years.
Oh, you did? Where was that?
Right
Where?
Out on Middle Point Road. It was,
The same school you had gone to?
no,
A
it
different
was
one.
near Madison. I can't think what, it was, the schoolhouse was still there a few years ago, but now it's all built up.
Oh. Out there near Cherrywood?
What?
Out there near Cherrywood?
Well, it's near the church out there. What is it?
A Pleasant View?
What?
There's a Pleasant View church.
No,
Not that one.
it's the, I can't think of the name. I know it very well.
Well, you enjoyed the teaching?
Well, I guess just had to. That's the only thing you could do, girls could do at that time.
Uh-huh.
And most of them that didn't get married, we were teaching.
But you were very young then to be a
Yes.
teacher.
I was 17 years old when they let me teach.
Yeah, that's
Country
pretty young.
school.
Uh-huh. That's pretty hard, because you had some pretty big children, didn't you?
What?
You had big children to teach? Your
Yeah.
pupils.
Yes.
That's not easy.
I guess some of them as old as I was.
Yeah.
I was always surprised to know that they would hire a 17-year-old girl.
Yes, I would think so. Now, did you tell me back here what year you were born?
83.
83. Does that mean you're going to be 100 this year? What month?
February.
Oh, you've been already.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, that is really amazing. Oh, that is remarkable. Well, so you were back teaching country school. Did you have to carry water and have the
Yeah.
outside privy, and how was the school building heated?
Or by a central stove,
Oh,
big stove.
coal or wood?
Wood, I guess.
But you had a janitor, or
Well, yes. Across the road, I guess.
so he would come in and make up the fire in the morning before
Yes.
you got there.
Start the
Uh-huh.
fire.
Well, I'm sure that wasn't easy.
Well, after I graduated from university, as I said, there was nothing really a girl could do but teach. So I taught in several high schools in the state.
Oh, which cities?
I taught in, I started out at Palmyra, then Neillsville and Menomonie, Wisconsin, and then I entered the library field.
Oh,
I thought I didn't want to teach. I didn't want to teach all my life. So I took the library course, and I stayed with the library commission for quite a while, and finally they asked me to teach, so I was teaching again.
oh. Well, did you come back to Madison for your library course?
Yes.
Uh-huh. And how many years?
I always lived in Madison, you
Oh,
see,
mhm.
after that. I took the library course, and finally they asked me to teach. So I ended up with the university assistant professor
I see. Oh, wonderful. In the library school.
at the library
Uh-huh.
school.
Well, to go back a bit, when you were teaching in that little country school, do you remember what you were paid?
I guess about $30 a month.
I see. And did you travel back and forth to Madison then?
Yes, but in the wintertime I stayed with a family.
Oh, uh-huh. But otherwise you had a horse and buggy?
Yes.
And what did the horse do while you were in the
Well,
Oh.
it's one of the neighbors kept it
Oh,
from me.
Well, how long would it take you to go from Madison to your school?
Oh, not very long.
3 miles, you said, or 5? No, it's probably about 5 miles out there. Where was the horse in town?
Hmm?
Where did the horse stay in town? At a livery stable?
Well, at a farm across the road from the school.
No, but in Madison.
Oh, we had a barn.
Oh, you had a barn there on Murray Street?
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. Well, I wanted to ask about something about the university at the time you were going there. Were there many girls in school?
Oh, yes.
It was very coeducational.
Mhm.
And what sort of clothes did you wear?
Sort of clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess fashions of the time.
Mm-hmm. The long skirt. And,
Yes, long skirt.
and,
That's careful.
and waist. My mother used to call it a waist. And you walked up Bascom Hill there in those heavy clothes. It was pretty hot in the summer, I suppose.
Yes.
And you took an education course?
Yes, I guess I suppose I did.
Do you remember what you did for fun?
Oh, I don't know. I guess we had parties, general parties.
Did you go to a church?
Yes, First Congregational.
Because they had young people's
Yes,
activities.
they had young people's society, and
Did you go there Sunday night? Or,
sometimes, yeah.
and do you remember the sports at the university?
Sports.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we had football. I don't know. I really don't. I do remember we had football.
Did you have gym class?
Yes.
Girls' gym?
Mhm.
What did you do there?
Well, our gym class was on the lower floor of Chadburn Hall at that time.
I see. There wasn't any Lathrop Hall.
What?
No Lathrop?
No.
And where were your classes held?
Well, they were in Bascom Hill and North Hall.
And you liked school?
Science
Oh, science
Hall.
And you must have been a good student.
I graduated.
Did you know Emma Glenn's?
Yes, she was in my class.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. Oh, I interviewed her last summer. And I knew she went to university too.
Yeah. Yeah, she was in my class.
Oh. Do you remember any of your professors' names?
Oh, yes, sure. Professor Holfeld in German. Van Velzer, math.
Van Velzer?
Van Velzer. And Snow in physics.
Oh, you did take science, didn't you? Well, did you go out on the lake at all?
What?
Did you go out on the lake?
Oh, yes. Canoe,
Oh.
boat.
What about dates? Did you,
Dates?
dates, did you go out with boys?
Sure.
Well, what did you do? Where did you go?
Oh, we did the different things. Picnics, dancing, mostly dancing.
Where was that?
Well, I don't know. Let's see. Well, of course, the big dances were in the old red gym.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
The Armory. Mm-hmm.
Armory, yeah. And otherwise, there were some private places.
What sort of dances did you do?
Oh, two-step.
Oh,
waltz.
yes. Uh-huh. Oh, that sounds like fun.
Hmm.
And what did you do in the summertime?
Well, we didn't do anything in particular.
Just stayed at home, and
Stayed at home.
you didn't have a job of
No.
any kind. Uh-huh. Well, tuition was not very high then, was it?
No, it wasn't. I don't remember what it was.
But if you stayed at home and
Yes.
helped around the house, why, I
Mhm.
presume it was not
Yeah.
too expensive.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And your father was doing well in the
Yes.
with insurance
Yes.
and real estate? Uh-huh.
Sure.
So you had two girls, your sister there at the same time?
What?
Was your sister there?
Yes.
Two of you in college at once?
Two of them in college at the same time. Yes, my father put 3 girls through the university.
Well, that's nice.
Yes.
And you had many friends?
Oh, sure.
Uh-huh. Did you have a piano?
Hmm?
Did you play the piano?
Yes.
Oh, that's nice. Uh-huh. Did you know, is it Helen Kaiser?
Hmm?
And Stella Kaiser? The woman who was a piano teacher, I think it was Stella Kaiser.
No, I don't know.
Oh, she was a friend of Emma Glenn's.
Yeah.
I just thought you might have known her, especially if you all played the piano.
Yeah.
And you sang songs, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good. All right, so then you graduated from college. That's as far as we are now.
Yeah.
And, oh yes, I wanted to ask you, did you go shopping up on the square?
Sure.
That was the only place.
Keely Neckerman and Kesnick.
Oh, yeah. And
And Simpsons, I guess, were there.
oh, yes.
Simpsons.
Mhm. And were the streets paved?
Oh, yes.
But I heard you had wooden sidewalks.
Mm-hmm.
And horses and
Yes.
a streetcar.
Yes. We had horses and streetcars.
Do you remember that popcorn wagon?
Yes.
Was that there on the corner
Mhm.
when you went to school?
Yeah, I
Oh,
guess
yeah.
it was.
Uh-huh. Where did you get groceries?
Well, there was an A&P around the corner,
Oh,
and it's all wherever we wanted to shop.
there were little grocery stores
Little
around.
groceries, yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I see. And do you remember about street cleaners?
Not what?
Street cleaners?
Oh, yes.
When you had horses, you had to clean up, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I don't remember that,
No.
anything about it.
What about homecoming? Do you remember having,
Oh, yes.
or Halloween
Mm-hmm.
celebrations?
Mm-hmm. University. See, we were right near the university, so. There was a rush, I guess, to educate the freshmen every
yeah.
fall.
Uh-huh.
They were dumped in the lake.
Oh. Do you remember the Kiekhofers?
Yeah.
Professor Kiehofer? I
Yeah.
remember there was a wall, a fence
Yes,
there.
on State Street.
Oh, uh-huh.
Yes.
And the administration building was just, wasn't it a small building on Park Street?
Well, there was a North and South Hall,
Mhm.
and Bascom Hall, of course,
Mhm.
and there was some sort of agricultural building that is I've forgotten what it was called. There was music hall, that's just been renovated.
I think King Hall was the oldest. Was King Hall
Yes.
the oldest
Yes,
on
that's the oldest.
on the ag school? Uh-huh.
I guess that's what it's called now.
Do you remember how many were in your graduating class?
Oh, I think about 700.
Oh, pretty big school.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. And mostly the girls went on to teach, is that
Yes.
right? Uh-huh.
I know it. All through the state.
Do you remember what you earned as a teacher at Palmyra, for instance?
What I earned.
What you earned, your salary?
Oh, I think it was 50 a month.
50. And where did you live then?
I lived in a house where they kept us.
And what did you teach?
Everything.
Were you science teacher?
What?
Did you teach science?
No, I guess not. I don't think they taught science.
Oh.
It was a small high school.
Oh. So what was your main subject when your major?
Well, there were only 2 teachers and a superintendent,
Oh,
I
principal.
don't remember what he taught, but I taught, I had 2 German, and I taught English and mathematics. And as I said, I taught about everything without experience.
Oh, and to all the grades, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yes, that's very hard. You
Yeah.
really have to work to get ready for all those classes, don't
Yes.
you? Yes.
Well, I only paid $14 a month for board and room.
Mhm.
I remember that. I don't know how they could keep us.
Well, you didn't have too much left over at $50 because you had to travel back and forth. Did you come home weekends at all?
Yes, I could come home weekends, and I always had a home to come to, so I think of it now. At that I didn't think anything about it,
Yes, But I imagine you were pretty glad to get home after all
Yeah.
that work.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I taught for a year, and I know how much work it is to get ready for classes. And but you didn't like teaching enough to stay in it.
No, I didn't see any future for it, because you just stayed in these little towns, and there really wasn't much in it.
So what year was it that you came back to Madison to study?
Well, I was in Madison all the time, really. I just went out for the teaching.
Mm-hmm. But you came back to library school.
Oh, in 1923.
I see. So you had taught quite a few years.
Yes.
And you went to larger schools
Mm-hmm.
from Palmyra?
Yes. Oh, yes. County seats at Neillsville and Menomonie.
And I suppose you got more money as you...
Oh, yes.
Where were you during the war?
No. I guess I was in Madison. The First World War.
Mm-hmm. That would have been 19...
1918. Let's see. Well, I suppose I was teaching.
You don't remember being influenced too
No.
much by the war?
No.
Mhm.
I do remember that I was teaching German, you know, but when the war came on, we didn't even...
Hey?
Yes, I was down with my sister, my married sister, in Muscoda. I happened to be there when they announced.
Well, that was exciting.
Yes, it was very exciting.
Mm-hmm. And then you taught until 1923.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember anything about the end of the war and the economy of the country?
No, I don't.
Wisconsin was not terribly affected by
No.
all these things.
I wasn't much interested in politics of any sort at that age.
Were you aware of the woman suffrage movement?
Oh, yes.
Did you ever hear a speaker?
Did I ever hear one?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember.
Oh. But you were glad to get the vote, I presume.
Oh, yes.
High time. So then in 1923 you came back to go to library school.
Yes.
And your parents were still living on Murray Street?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Uh-huh. So you stayed there.
Oh, yes.
And how long a course was that?
How long ago?
How long was your library course?
Oh, 1 year.
1 year. Oh. Uh-huh.
You see, we had to be university graduates.
Oh, yes. Uh-huh. Did you get a master's degree then?
Yes.
Uh-huh. In library?
Library science.
Oh, yes. And then where did you work?
Well, I worked for the Library Commission for about 5 years.
In Madison?
In Madison, yeah.
Were they at the Capitol?
Well, you know, with the Library Commission, you visit libraries and try to advise them.
Oh, I see.
And so I went through the state
Oh.
and visited all the libraries.
Mm-hmm.
Each one of us had a section.
Oh.
Faculty member.
Uh-huh. And you liked that?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
very, very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
Were there many libraries? These were school libraries, or were they
Well, there were
city?
there were lots of real small libraries, you know, and they were not. The librarian was not trained.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually somebody in the town,
Mm-hmm.
and but now I think they were able to employ a trade librarian.
Was the traveling library operating
Yes,
then?
the traveling library.
So the state sent books out. And
Yes, they sent books out. They sent a whole box full, big box full, you know, for these little ones to use. And of course, the little libraries had very little money.
Mm.
And some of them just depended on the books that the traveling library sent out.
Oh, yes, I'm sure. Well, how did you travel when you went around?
Well, just whatever. I had a car that I traveled with some. And then there were trains,
Mm-hmm.
buses, and so forth,
Oh.
whenever we could find it.
When did you get a car?
Oh, I don't remember.
Do you remember seeing the first cars in Madison?
Hmm?
Do you remember the first cars in Madison? Did your father have one?
No, I don't remember.
No. When did your father get a car?
I think about 1916.
Oh, he did? Oh. Oh. Oh, that was a big event, wasn't
Yeah,
it? You
a
know?
big event.
Did you go out riding in the country?
Sure.
But there were lots of flat tires in those days, weren't there?
Traveled with flat tires
Uh-huh.
on the road.
Oh, yeah. And you had to crank the front to get it started? Uh-huh. Well, so, but you probably at first went by train around to the towns.
Oh, by train, yes.
Uh-huh.
Trains and weren't really the mail buses.
Oh.
Sometimes from one town to another.
Oh, yes. Uh-huh. Huh.
If the schedule was right.
Yeah. But they had milk trains going to most small towns those days, didn't they? Uh-huh. Well, that sounds like a nice job. Did your sisters marry?
My sisters?
Yeah, did they get married? They get married?
My youngest sister, yeah.
Oh, uh-huh. And did she live in Madison?
Yes, she lived. Well, they first lived in Muscoda.
Oh,
Her husband was the banker.
Oh. And your father continued to do real estate and insurance?
Yes.
Well, you were, did you hear about speak-easies?
Not what?
Speak-easies in the 20s?
No.
You weren't involved in that fast life.
No.
Oh, but you do remember Prohibition.
Oh, yes.
Probably your family didn't drink anything anyway.
No, we never were. It didn't affect us at all. You know, we never were drinkers in our house.
Well, you remember wearing shorter skirts, and did you get your hair cut?
Oh, yes. Sure.
What year, do you remember?
I don't remember.
Well, when you were going around the state, you know, it's
Yes.
did you have short hair then, or
Yeah.
was it still long? No. So you were up with the styles anyway. Did you buy your clothes?
Huh?
Did you buy your clothes, or
Oh, yeah, sure.
did you have them made? I wondered.
Oh, I thought we used to make our blouses especially, and dresses too.
Your mother sewed?
Well, we girls sewed our own.
Oh, you did? Oh.
We sewed our own clothes.
Oh, well, that's nice. And your home was still on Murray Street all this time?
All the time, yeah.
Uh-huh.
All the time until my parents passed away.
I wondered if you, I just saw a question I'd forgotten. Were you, did you belong to a sorority in?
Yes.
Oh, you did? Which one?
Alpha Xi Delta.
Alpha Xi Delta. And so you used to go up on the, did they have a house on
yeah.
Langdon Street?
Beautiful house.
Oh, so you enjoyed that? Uh-huh. Oh, that's nice. I'm glad I found that out. Did you go to the fraternity parties then?
Yes.
You had sorority parties?
Yes.
Yeah. That's a very nice part of university life,
Yeah,
isn't
very
it?
nice.
Yeah, very enjoyable. Well,
The girls gave me, were hosts to a tea for me on my birthday.
oh, wonderful.
We had a lovely party, just a lovely party. We're over 100 guests.
Well, is this on, do they still have that house?
Yeah. No,
The sorority house?
but it was held here.
Oh, I see. Oh, how nice. Well, so after you...
There are the cards I got. You see that?
Oh, yes.
See the cards in that basket?
Well, you deserve that, I should say. Well, so while you were traveling around, or when you finished traveling around,
Yeah.
you came back to be a teacher. You said in the library school.
Well, yes.
And how big was the library school then?
Oh, well, it was, we had about 40 students.
Uh-huh. Mostly girls?
Well, some men.
Oh, uh-huh. And then you were a professor?
Yes.
Assistant professor, you started out as?
Hmm?
Assistant professor?
And yes, after we got to university.
Uh-huh.
You see, we weren't part of, we were with the library commission until the director retired, and then they moved us to the university.
Oh, what year was that?
Oh, I can't remember. I just can't remember what minute it was.
When you came, how many years did you do this traveling for the commission?
I can't tell you.
Was this into the Depression years?
What?
The Depression in the 30s?
In the 30s, yeah.
Were you still traveling then?
Mm-hmm.
So you saw
Yeah,
a lot of poverty,
yeah.
I presume. Do you remember what sort of salary you got when you were working? For the
Sort of what?
salary?
Galleries?
Salary. What were you paid?
I don't remember.
No. What do you remember about the Depression in Madison?
Well, I don't remember very much. I don't think we were so hard hit.
Oh, Didn't it affect your father's business too
No.
much? But you remember of course, hearing about the bread lines and
Oh yes,
and the hobos and
yeah. That,
wasn't too hard on you.
hmm?
Was not too hard on you personally.
No, it wasn't.
Well, that's good. Oh, I wondered, did you remember about the Capitol burning?
About that.
The Capitol,
Oh,
when
yeah.
it burned.
Yes, I do remember that.
And then
That was 1904.
you didn't see that, though, did you? Did you get to go to the fire?
No.
But by this time in the 1920s, I suppose there were many more stores and the
Yes.
city was getting much bigger.
Oh yes.
And where did you live then when you were in the,
Retired.
no, when you were in the library school, when you came back to,
Well, I lived in Murray Street.
oh, you stayed with your parents?
Yeah, I lived with my parents all the time.
Oh, you did? Well, that was nice for both of you, wasn't it?
Yes.
But how long did they live?
Well, they were just about 84
Mm.
when they died, passed away.
What year would that be?
1940 and 43, I guess.
What were they ill? Did you take care of your mother?
Yeah, we had a woman to help my mother,
I see.
because I was teaching, you see.
But they were in pretty good health?
Yes.
And so then where did you move after they died?
Well, we had a cottage in Lake Mendota Drive,
Oh, you did?
and my father, and I winterized it and went and lived out there till I came here.
Oh, did you used to spend summers there?
We used to spend our summers, yeah,
Oh, how nice.
at the cottage. Everybody had cottages, you know.
Did
those
they?
days.
Oh, I didn't realize that. So you would, do you remember when you first started going there?
Oh, way back in 1913, I guess.
Oh, I see.
We had my father liked to garden and fish and so forth, you know, to spend his extra time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was very nice. So you
Very
had a
nice.
boat.
Had a boat,
Uh-huh. And did you swim?
sure.
You had to wear those long swimming suits with stripes going around and stockings.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh, but that was nice. The lake is lovely. And it can be pretty hot in town in the
Yes.
summer, so
Mm.
that was very nice.
Mhm.
And you had friends out there too, I suppose.
Oh, yes.
Uh-huh. So you were out beyond Shorewood, is that right?
And just, you know, beyond Shorewood.
Oh. Well, that's very nice.
At Mendota Beach, I guess they called it,
Mm-hmm.
that section.
Oh, well, that's very good. I'm glad you mentioned that. 'Cause that's, not all cities are able to, not all people in cities are able to have a cottage just a couple of miles away.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh, well, that's great. So then you lived there for quite a few years?
Yes, I lived there.
Were you alone there, or did you have a roomer?
Well, my sister was teaching in the University of Nebraska,
Oh.
and she used to spend her summers with me. Otherwise, I was alone.
Mm-hmm. And you taught in the library school and
Yeah.
had your own car, so you drove back
Yeah,
and forth.
back and forth,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
How many years did you teach? Until what year?
I don't remember.
Well, you retired when you were, what, 65?
I retired when I was 62 years old.
Oh.
So
Uh-huh.
I've been retired a long time.
Mm-hmm. That's right, you have. Goodness. Well, that's pretty nice to have all these years to enjoy yourself.
Yes.
So you found Madison a pretty pleasant place to be.
I think it's wonderful, yeah.
You did travel, though, I assume.
Yes.
Where have you gone?
Well, I've gone to different parts of Europe, Cuba, Mexico.
Well, that sounds fun, like a good time. Did you go on boats?
Well, went to Europe in 1910, and of course we didn't have any flying machines then. We went on a boat.
Oh, who went with you?
A friend of mine.
Oh, just the two of you went?
Mhm. Goodness.
Oh, that was pretty brave.
Yeah.
Where did you go? London and,
Well, we just took, that first time we just took a general tour of Europe.
oh,
You know, landed in Italy and worked north.
did you travel by train in Europe?
Train and, yes. I think, well, I think must have been mostly by train. I can't remember any buses.
How did you happen to decide to go to Europe in 1910?
Oh, well, we just, there's always an urge to travel.
Oh.
Everybody, I guess.
Was it pretty expensive?
No.
No, it wasn't. I thought only rich people went to Europe back in those days.
Well, no, it wasn't very expensive.
Oh, well, that's That's really exciting. And you didn't have any, just the two girls went around.
Huh?
Just your two young ladies went
Yeah.
around. You didn't get in any danger.
No,
And you didn't get picked up by anyone.
no, at that time, it was pretty safe for women
Mhm.
then.
Well, I still think you were very brave. But you enjoyed it and went back.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, we had an itinerary, mapped out for us,
Uh-huh.
and so we knew where we were going.
Did you go to Germany?
Well, that first tour included all the countries from Italy north,
Oh.
Switzerland, Germany,
Mhm.
England.
Oh. Well, that was
We
exciting.
landed in Italy at Naples, and then we returned from England, Northampton, England.
Did you enjoy the ship?
Oh, very much,
That was fun.
very much.
Oh, good. So when did you go again? After 1910, when did you go again?
Oh, quite a bit later. I don't remember the date.
After the war, then?
Oh, yes.
I see, in the 20s. And then you've flown around too, I suppose.
Mhm.
Gone
Yeah.
by plane.
We flew, yeah. But the first time we went by boat.
Mhm. Well, it was quite a while before they had
Yeah.
passenger planes.
Yeah.
Really, after World War II, before they. Well, I suppose you remember about Lindbergh's flight.
Yes.
Oh, that was exciting. And didn't he come to Madison?
He came to Madison once, yes.
Did you see him?
Hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yes, he went to the university here,
Oh, he did.
I think. I'm quite sure. I don't know
Oh,
whether it's whether I'm right or not.
Well, so on your, when you retired then, what were your activities?
Well, I don't know. I joined AEOW. Do you belong to that?
No, I don't. I just never got around to joining that.
And of course, my sorority. And, well, there were various things, occasions when something was going.
Mhm. You kept busy anyway.
Kept busy, yeah.
Well, you watched Madison get much bigger
Yes.
over the years.
Oh my, yes.
Mhm.
No comparison.
Yeah, I suppose it was pretty small when you came here.
Hmm.
When you first came to Madison, it was a
Oh,
pretty
yes.
small city.
Yes, very small
And the university has gotten so huge, too.
Oh, it's so huge.
Yeah. Well, when did you move out to the Attic Angel Towers?
Yes, in 77.
Oh.
I've been here 6 years,
Mhm.
will be in October.
Well, it's a very pleasant place, isn't it?
Oh, it's lovely.
Uh-huh.
It's wonderful. I think because the Attic Angels own it, it seems more personal
Oh,
than other retirement homes,
I suppose that's true.
because they just keep it going. The other ones,
Oh,
we have lots of entertainment here and
all kinds of activities.
all
don't
kinds of
you?
activities, and the Angels are wonderful people.
Oh, that's good.
They
Well, is any of your family still living?
I have my younger sister, yes.
Oh, and how old is she?
She's 91.
Well, you're quite a long-lived
Yeah.
family, I would say. She's not still out at Muscoda.
No. She's been in Madison a long time. She lives in Shorewood.
Oh, Oh, that's nice. What is her name now?
More.
Moore? She was the one whose husband was the banker.
Hmm?
Her husband was a banker?
Yes.
Oh, yes, Well,
Well, that's enough, isn't it?
well, I just wondered, were you aware of the Picnic Point area in the
The what?
out at Picnic Point? I wondered if you had
Oh, yes.
if you used to go out there and
Yes.
go to the
And
picnics and
Yes.
go boating.
Boating.
Uh-huh.
In the canoe. Yeah.
There used to be a boat that went across the lake to Esther Beach.
Yes.
Did you ever take that?
Mhm.
Are you still in the Congregational church?
Well, I'm not active, no.
Mm-hmm. But you belong to it.
I don't think I do.
Well, this has been very nice. I think we learned some very interesting things about. Especially, I thought about your traveling around to the various libraries.
Yeah.
It was something I hadn't heard of before.
Well, that was the Library Commission, but the university doesn't do it anymore.
No. And they gave up the traveling library too.
Gave up the traveling. We used to send our students in February for a couple of months out to different libraries to get training.
Oh.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and then of course in our traveling then we had to supervise some of the work they were doing, and they were all sent to libraries that had trained librarians, of course.
Oh,
And sometimes we went to, well, we used to catalog a whole library,
Oh.
maybe 4 or 5 students,
Hmm.
and maybe takes 2 years to do that job.
Oh.
So that was with the Library Commission, but the university doesn't do that.
You enjoyed the teaching?
Oh, yes, yes, I enjoyed it.
I lived in Waukesha, and we had quite a nice library there. Waukesha?
Oh, you live there?
I did.
Oh.
Mhm. You must have been there.
Mm-hmm. Well, my libraries were all the northwestern part
Oh, they
of the
were.
state.
Oh. It was pretty cold up there then,
But, yeah,
in the winter time.
I know it.
Well, I certainly have enjoyed this, and I appreciate your being willing to talk to me. I think this tape is just about to run out, but I am very pleased to have heard about your work, and I think we'll enjoy having this on file. I think you're the only librarian we have.
Yeah.
End of the interview with Miss Alma Runge in the traveling library.
Oh,
Do you remember her?
Harriet, what was her name? What was her name?
Oh, I'm trying to think of it. I think